for spoofing through this one right here. We got the slow creep. We got with Stinx. Stinx, especially with Stinx in the whole music video, the main one. But we got creep slow, the slow creep, especially with Stinx. He got his whole thing. He got his main one, like especially from this one right here. I didn't even see this one come through. So for him to even have this one right here, he got something on the. We got something on the slow creep, like the slow creep. Like you know how those creep be, they be so creepy. Like they be, we talking about something else, like on them creepy things. But mainly with him coming through, especially from this whole thing, like his last one he had too. He had the tiny boost one. That one was crazy, and then he had the other one. So he be really putting in that from for moment, especially with his whole style, like his whole style of lyrics and rap. It be another way of past it. But we got what creep and the slow, especially with Stinx coming into it.
PMP Records.
Yeah, let's talk to you lot for a minute. Listen,
I like that too. I like the whole thing too. Like that, hey, that's him. Like, especially from the whole thing. Like, yeah, they got the lyrics of his whole thing, and like I mess with the whole thing. Like that's hard. Like just that type of like Squirtle and everything else. Like that's like especially the lyrics that comes into it. Like you got to put that who is by and all that other stuff.
listen, sometimes a nigga just needs to get some fucking gun. Help him understand himself a bit better. Niggas are losing this. Roll deep, no cold feet, give hold leap on a slow creep. Go to the station, don't speak. Handle the sheep like Bo Peep. Big long stick like a farmer. Soak and drip like a sauna. Rage to the
Ooh, big long stick like a farm. Ooh, big long stick just like a farm. Ooh, you know how them farmers are. The farmers are real stretchy and hey, big long stick like hey, this is how he's rolling too. This is how he's like really scoping and everything else.
roll deep, no cold feet, give hold leap on a slow creep. Go to the station, don't speak. Handle the sheep like Bo Peep. Big long stick like a farmer. Soak and drip like a sauna. Rage to the bricks, not order. The boy can't come on big harder. Not a free bad boy like Dodgers. Rappers and shoppers. Savage just slap at the coppers. Caliber only for bosses. Free bad boy like Dodgers. Rappers and shoppers. Savage just slap at the coppers. Caliber only for bosses. Don't like drive with the rap at the jump with the cab or walk. Love H like guys, my act see with the rap orcs. Man, they really taking no talk. Act had his finger with the torch. At the coppers. Caliber only for bosses. Don't like drive with the rap at the jump with the cab or walk.
Who don't like strappers and the coppers and everything else like too like and they moving with a whole different like present, like they moving in the present, like where it's like the way you move now, the way you gotta move now, like in the present, like especially from the whole thing, like hey, they really stretching something out, like with this one, like coming through the present.
For the cab or walk. Love H like guys, my act see with the rap orcs. Man, they really taking no talk. Act had his finger with the torch. Couple man could have been a corpse. Prosecution sitting in the court. No, you can't tell me about war. My man crashed for your door. Better than the bus, boys had enough. Just wonder with the brothers on tour. Give the act little opportunity. That license ends could have ruined me. If they don't let me in, rise up a ting. Rub up and pump for his jewelry. Imagine my lord mate.
Ooh, what he says, they don't let him in. You know, he said it's rapper to be the in. It's rapper to be the in, and then like, hey, it's like he's shaking something. Like he's shaking something. Like he's getting in tune with it. Like he's getting in tune with it. Like basically something you ain't gonna play with. Like hey, he's not the one to just sport with. Like he got that whole vicious thing. Like he got something shaking, especially from this whole thing. Like you shaking something up. Like he already fisting something up.
Two of me. Slow it down, giving to it fluently. Pray and I pray that the day never comes that a boy ever thinks he can move to me. He ain't gonna take a thing lightly. Ban him in his face politely. Go to my house, suit in my mouth, laugh, there's nobody like me. Roll deep, no cold feet, give hold leap on a slow creep. Go to the station, don't speak, handle the sheep. Suit in my mouth, laugh, there's nobody like me. Roll deep, no cold feet, give hold leap on a slow creep. Go to the station, don't speak, handle the sheep like Bo Peep. Big
Oh, and that's deep. He said cold feet and everything else. Like and then the way they just hitting it too. Like he got everybody hitting the move with him. Like, come on, like they hitting the scam with him. Like cold feet and everything else. And he said, go to the station, and don't speak. That's the way to go. Like, keep it on that. Like, you got to keep it on that cold one on Pete.
Go to the station, don't speak, handle the sheep like Bo Peep. Big long stick like a farmer, soak and drip like a sauna. Raise to the bricks, not order. The boy can't come from Bacana. Not a free bad boy like Dodos. Rappers and shoppers. Savage just slap at the coppers. Caliber only for bosses. Free bad boy like Dodos. Rappers and shoppers. Savage just slap at the coppers. Caliber only.
Oh, she phenomenal. That she's phenomenal. She just go over her foot like she's something else. Like especially when it comes to these, it'd be like a celebration, especially from the whole things like I be getting a little celebration type of moment.
Free bad boy like Dodos. Rappers and shoppers. Savage just slap at the coppers. Caliber only for bosses. Everyone's drilling. Can't explain how I'm feeling. Don't pay smoke on the rhythm. Man see him in the flesh and kill him. Scarface, no kids, no women. Car chase DT, I'm sinning. Trainers, laces, I bring him. Push hand in waist and fling him. Road works, soul works. Baghdad, my old turf. Games fake, some hate. Habits rate, some old work. Please don't ask about my man. But you all know my man's puss. Raising the bricks with the cheese.
Ooh, please don't ask about my mans, cause his mans is with it, but the other mans they not with it. So you know how that goes. Like you got certain people that his minds with it, but the other minds ain't with it. Like especially how this whole thing goes. Like it's just a topic thing. Like you can't really find that. You can't really find that realness. Like beside you, it ain't too many of them. Like especially from the whole thing, it just comes into a peak. Like where he's speaking of and where it's coming from.
Habits rate, some old work. Please don't ask about my man. But you all know my man's puss. Raising the bricks with the cheese. Throwing up seas like Toki. Play CG in the hookty. Gal pan stop trying look me. Maryline one give me cookie. Make gal beg for the nookie. Chatty, them gal, scatty. See me on the gram at me. I'm back on road, I'm happy. Roll deep, no cold feet, give hold leap on a slow creep. Go to the station, don't speak, handle the sheep like Bo Peep. Big long stick like a farmer, soak and drip like a sauna. Raise to the bricks, not order. The boy can't come from Bacana. Not a free bad boy like Dodos. Rappers and shoppers. Savage just slap at the coppers. Caliber only for bosses. Free bad boy like Dodos. Rappers and shoppers. Savage just slap at the coppers. Caliber only for bosses. Hey.
We got the main one to do it though. The main one, like especially from his whole thing. Like he just has a whole thing, especially with things coming into it, and just with the slow creep. Like we can't even go against his whole thing because his whole thing is just for a moment. Like he be having a for moment. Like when you really get in tune with it, like you really gotta get in tune with things because he be really putting it down like for the whole thing, especially from the whole thing. But you got out on all digital platforms and especially from this whole thing. But I'm messing with the count of it and everything else, but mainly with his whole thing and him taking over, especially with the slow creep. But get in tune with it, as you guys haven't, because he has the whole thing coming into this whole thing. But mainly with this one right here, like this one was a 10 out of 10. Like he just boosted it. Make sure you guys comment, like, with everything else.